Episode number 403.
You're only going to get a couple things, so really focus the time and energy on that. This idea that we have to make a dent in the universe, or we have to change the world with our business. Even the iPhone in 200 years, no one's going to give a shit.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you a little fuego in your days, nights, weekends, or whenever you are listening to the show today. But after this show, I think you're going to want to think about your business a little different. If you are in business or if you are an agency, I think you're going to want to think about your agency a little different, because I'm talking to a leader in the game of not only results, ads, based on the business, let's just be real, clicks and clients, baby, which is something we all want nowadays. But you've done it in many ways, sir, with your experience, Mr. Paul Rakovich. Paul, are you ready to be real?
Let's go.
Let's go. So along, your journey, before we get into the business, before we get into the nitty gritty, were you always into business? Were you always into selling things, starting things? How did this evolve? How did this evolve for you?
Yeah. Always interested in business. Worked in restaurants after college, restaurants and wine. And even I'd opened up the restaurants for me and Marcus on the Strip in Las Vegas, and called a friend one day. We had some heaters outside. No one would come and replace the propane tanks. So I was like, all right, go on Excel, get your truck down here. We've created our first business. Wow. And it was kind of funny because the guy, I had to pay it got a petty cash, and after a while he's like, who are these people? And I'm like, hey, they deliver, it's all good.
Wow. So you figured out the problem. You figured out part of the problem was in the business they didn't have propane.
No one would come because it was too small of a deal. It was too difficult to get in and out of the mall, and just no one wanted to touch it. So then we took all the profits from that, put it in the next business that did not work. So there's still some jokes about that. And it wasn't a lot, but basically I started selling stuff online around 2001. So a friend of mine had introduced me to this concept of drop shipping and selling stuff online. I was still working in restaurants. So I would started drop shipping, then inventorying products, and then eventually started the agency and left the world of restaurants and wine behind. But that was kind of the path. So this aha moment was drop shipping. And then I said, I'm going to do that. And then I emailed this guy. I said, I'd like your drop ship price list. He emailed me back. Here you go. And I was like, holy cow, I guess. Here we go.
Here we go, baby. And that what? So
it's a Yahoo store.
Yahoo store. I was going to ask you what the platform was at the time, because nowadays, folks, there's so many different ways you can sell. We can talk about traditional ways, your eBays, your Amazons, but now even Paul, I'm sure you maybe have heard about it, but even stuff like Whatnot, Network, are live selling apps where people are basically, you have a show, you pop up, you start selling live. People all over the globe are buying stuff from you live. And this is huge, obviously, in some other countries, like in Asian countries, et cetera. People are live shopping, no big deal. Now here in America, I think the fifth wave of, if you want to call it, the drop shipping business is, hey, I got all these drop ship products, but I'm basically running my own home shopping network, right?
Totally. Yep.
I pop up live based on building a following, et cetera. Back in, they got me on my drop shipping. They ship out by address. All I got to do is send you my Excel file. Hey, guys, here's my orders from the show. Similar to an eBay or an Amazon. But the beautiful thing is, this is the beautiful thing about the live show, is you're selling, baby. You create the show, people like you, and they buy in. And unlike your Amazon or eBay, where, you are going to get pickup sales, no doubt, et cetera. Sure. Obviously, even the Yahoo store days, just being there, you pick up sales just organically. But now I think even the beautiful thing is everyone has the power of all these, from home shopping network. You're selling stuff to people, as well as eBays, the Amazons, or your own Shopify website, et cetera. So it's so crazy now, because the playing field has completely changed, if you want to call it, in that there's just so many types of places to sell, which is awesome. I think, that was back when I was in the car business a long time ago, to now, was you get a good card, but then who are you going to sell it to? You got to go sell it back to the dealer. He's not going to pay you the full price of, there wasn't the eBays and the, and so it's the beautiful thing about the internet. So talk to me about, Paul, what were some of those first products that you were selling? What were some of those first things that
there's two. Yeah. So we had the Cash Flow 101 and 102, the Rich Dad Poor Dad games.
Ooh.
So we were inventory. Well, at first we were drop shipping those. So the cost was $100. The retail was $200. There was a guy selling them for like $123. We sold them for $149. And then Tony Robbins products, same thing.
Really?
This is what the initial guy did. He sold, drop shipped like Speedo, like swim equipment for like racing, and then built a book of business. Then went direct to Speedo and said, "Hey, I'm selling a bunch of your stuff. I want to buy direct." So I drop shipped. Then I went direct to Tony Robbins, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and ended up inventorying the product. Those were really the first two. The Get the Edge CD set, same thing. It was about $100 wholesale, 200 retail. Sold it, discount for $150.
So
And
you just make a quick 50% margin instantly, and obviously at the time, even still now, the demand for those type of products, knowledge, courses, education, etc. But even then, that was hot. I mean, that was a hot time.
Yeah.
They didn't have YouTube.
Absolutely.
You didn't have YouTube University and Audible and things like that. That's how people learn. You get
waited for your CDs.
Yeah, hell yeah! I remember my mom getting them. I remember my mom getting them and listening to some of them. I didn't know what the hell half of them were because they were talking about interior design or whatever she wanted to learn about. But that was the truth. That was how you basically learned back in the day. And so those were some of the first the knowledge products, etc. And then what point did you say, okay, I understand the internet. I figured this out, how to do ads, how to figure drop shipping, but the agency, the service model where I can do this for others, obviously for my own businesses, but for others too, which is a beautiful thing. You can do both, serve yourself and serve others too as well.
Yeah, I was having a chat with Perry Marshall early on, or I guess not early on, back when he was like running some of the programs and stuff himself. So it was like a coaching call. I said, the Tony Robbins people, like I'll go to the office, like at the VIP tour, I'll buy like $20,000-$30,000 in products. And then I would get a letter in the mail like every 6 months from their legal team, like, where did you purchase these products and who authorized you to do this?
Weird.
And we're going to sue, I was
so
like,
there's like a disconnect between when you were buying to when you were selling.
Yeah. So I remember talking to Perry and saying, I got to find something else to sell. I feel like this isn't going to last forever. And it was never quite enough to like totally replace the income from the job. And so he said, just go do this for other people. So I knew how to run ads and started taking on a couple of clients.
Right.
I think he might have referred me the first few. I cold called a couple people back in the day and like sent them copies of their ads. I was like, this ad's terrible and here's why. And I can
you take an ad that they were doing, because this is the classic move for anyone in advertising. I would always take it. I think this is the best move because I would be working in the TV business and I would do the exact same thing two ways. Either your ad sucks or, hey, your ad's awesome, but it's not on my station. Let's get it going on my station. You're ready. You already got the commercial ready. That's like part of the half of the battle. But then in the secondary, truly analytical model is, hey, this is your ad. This is how it could be better. Essentially, kind of is the model you kind of, and so you give them some upfront advice, upfront critique.
Yeah, and he actually called me back. This guy, Dr. Parsley, he's still out there. He actually called me back. And then we talked for a bit and I don't think he quite understood it. And then he called back again, like maybe a second time. And that was it. He was one of my very first clients, him and a jeweler out of Los Angeles, who's still a client to this day.
Wow.
And it was like, $300 a month or something. And
right. Just consistent. And then you always can scale up. I always say that's the biggest model in agency business is I think people go too big and then they
gotta do good work.
Yeah, you do good work. I want $50,000 campaign. Okay, well, are you ready for this? If I send a lot of times we just don't get the clients ready for these things. I would say quite often on the TV. Hey, if we hit you on Oprah, you might get 100 calls right now. Like if you're on Oprah, there's 50, 60,000. Sometimes there was 100,000 people watching at any given time. And hey, are you ready to pick up those phone calls back in, this is, early 2000s. Are you ready to pick up those phone calls? People weren't going on the internet and they weren't buying things on the phone as much, so it was phone calls. Yep. And even still today, a lot of businesses, are you ready to get the inbound traffic that you're going to set up if you go blow a big amount of budget like that or get on a big show or et cetera? And a lot of times they aren't even ready for that. I don't know what the hell to do. I send it all the voicemail. Well, you know what happens on voicemail. No one leaves a voicemail. Yeah, I mean, very few people are going to leave. They're like, oh, I'm busy. This guy's busy.
Forget it.
Yeah, especially if it's something timely, especially if it's something, you know, relevant and they need to make a purchase or act or et cetera right then, right now. They're going to go to the next guy. Hey, pizzeria. Oh, next pizzeria, you know, et cetera. And so the beautiful thing about the digital, though, I always thought was you could edit, you could always make changes, and all the targeting that came into. I mean, that was the beautiful thing, Paul. When I know when I started seeing ABC talk about push to us, hey, abc.com, and we're going to be pushing all our shows on demand on abc.com. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy, because now I can actually show you how many ads, you know, people saw your ad. It was hard to do on some of the TV stuff. Now I can actually show you analytics and some of this stuff that we now obviously take for granted. But that's the beautiful thing today, don't you think, is that this business is so tangible and targetable. And talk about the kind of customers you work with, because you have those first customers. What are the types of industry or businesses or types of businesses that we can gravitate to you, and you know, that you just enjoy working with? You know,
we work the best when there's usually a marketing manager or CMO that's doing something and it's already kind of sort of working and things are going all right, but basically could be better. Like they either have raised some funds and all of a sudden it's like, hey, oh, by the way, you got to double the lead count, you know, now because we just raised a bunch of dough. Or, you know, pressure of like, hey, we want to grow, things are going all right, but we don't necessarily know the intricacies of TikTok, or we think our Facebook ads could be a little better. You know, those are the funnest projects where some things like already kind of sort of working well, and we can come in and look at what's in there and immediately go, oh, targeting's, gosh, did you know a third of your spend's going from like under 18? You know, like some real simple, you don't have any video ads, or you know, there's simple wins. So those are really fun.
They already kind of have some of the base story. They kind of already have some of the foundational elements. And they're trying it. Let's just be real. They're making an effort towards it. So that's an easy advantage versus someone that's on zero. I still have customers right now. They still have not gone on digital, and they're big. I mean, we're talking very large industry customers. They haven't even embraced it still. And that's because a lot of times they're so damn busy with the pockets being full with money that they don't need it. But they're also not thinking, hey, a lot of businesses were flush with money. Sears, Blockbuster, and many others we can talk about that were flush with money. And if you don't embrace the future, you know, you just don't know. You know, it might sound good today. You're busy as heck. You know, but what if that changes? And I think if you don't embrace digital in today, 2022, you know, you are missing the ball in the ability to target, in the ability to run a scalable budget, you know, with $100 a day or with $10 a day or with $1,000 a day, or depending on the size of the business, you can actually run a very targeted budget. I remember when I was first seeing some ad stuff back in the day on magazine ads. It was $500,000 for a Cosmo run. Dude, 500 G's and you just get one page?
For what? Yeah.
For what? Who? Yeah. No, like, who saw this? Where'd it go? Number. Nothing, brother. Yeah, like no retargeting capabilities on your ads. You know what I mean? Like none of this things. Obviously, today, many people take for granted, but then time and time again, you'll see still, Paul, like you said, is someone that's running budgets and they still don't have the right targeting. There's still some inefficiency. And that's because the truth is we don't know it all. Especially if you're a business or you know, and that's the expertise part of having someone, you know, come in that knows a little more than you, that has seen a few things, that has been in different verticals, and it can easily help you, you know, like I said, scale, be more efficient, less waste of the budget is a big part of digital. I find time and time again, dude, even agencies, when I'm helping agencies, they got, you know, there's a lot of turnover. They got the new girl running the ads. She doesn't know. She's running $50,000 in ads. She's running, whatever, let's go. She doesn't know. And then 60 days later, there might be a new person running those ads. So, and I see on the other side as a partner working with them too, and just being like, you know, trying to figure it out, and obviously having to work with a new person every 60 to 90 days. And it happens in every aspect of business. But the interesting part of this business is that it's always adapting. It's always changing. It's always keeping us on our feet, and it's always going to be that way, whether it's on the client side, the platform side, shoot, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we could do some crazy things on Facebook targeting. I can target down to demographic targeting. Let's get into your personal income. Let's go. Who wanna? You can't do most of those things.
You didn't even need to target, right? You just placed the pixel and you said do this, and you set a broad audience. It would just go bonkers.
Right.
Basically, like
dirt cheap traffic, and they would just do the. It would do all the
crazy stuff.
Right. It would do a lot of the work for you. And now, as if companies getting hot water, if data, blah blah blah, etc., we have to transform. We can't do those things that we used to be able to do. We have to, but you still have so many other benefits. And let's just be real. Knock on 2023, 2024. Many more things down the road there. With
you got to be a good marketer.
Yeah,
that's still the big. You got to go back to the basics. What's the offer? Who are we targeting? What's important? What are we saying? Why are we saying it? We were looking at a creative the other day, and I interviewed a creative director a long time ago, and we were sitting in my office back when we had the office, and he's like, my thought is a creative, someone has it sitting on a table. I walk by the table. Can you get it in that instant? Right. And so we're looking at this ad with like this kind of logo thing. It's like, well, what the hell is this? Right. Like, it's still the same principle. Is this a golf course? Is this a vacation for golf? Is this golf equipment? Is this like, and so the team had to go back and re-strategize and reconcept, like, it's still the same thing. It's someone, you get a second maybe to flip through it. If it doesn't hit them right away, same as you like having an ad on your desk, someone walking by, it's not going to work. And so I think it's back to fundamentals.
The kiss
in large part, and execution. Yeah, there's a strategy part of that, right? Which is like, let's have an ad that someone gets if they walk by it. And then there's the execution side of it, like you're mentioning, with these people coming in, or new people, or maybe not having an expert doing it.
Right.
And not executing it properly, and then coming back and going like, well, Facebook sucks, or Facebook doesn't work, or Google doesn't work, or this doesn't work for me. So you kind of have both pieces of the pie. The strategy piece and the execution piece has to be right. But I feel like it's back to basics on, old school stuff around offer and copy and audience, now that it's not quite as easy on Facebook.
Yes. And the biggest thing is, it's all pretty dang cheap, guys and gals, to do an ad campaign. Just test. I always had to
test some stuff out
many years ago. Yeah, they said everything in marketing is a test. And I thought, you know what? That is the truest thing you can ever do, because even if I have the best ad in my eyes, got the perfect motion picture, TV 30-second ad, got it lined up in the Super Bowl in the right places. Hey, you don't know until that thing runs. We don't
never know.
We don't know.
Never know.
You can hope to God you hit it right and you did your right the darnest. But I always say you're going to learn from the ad. You're going to learn from the results. You're going to learn from it, and that's why I always like to remind people that are thinking about doing more in marketing and stuff like that, which is right now more relevant than ever. Is just make sure you test. You don't go all in and then say it sucks. Like you said, oh, I spent $10,000 on Facebook ads. It sucks, dude.
Doesn't work.
Spend $100. Figure it out. If no one's interacting with the ad, try some other ads with another $100, a new offer, a new something, a different, something different. And then you're going to find that spot where it hits. And then you can ramp up the budget on it, But the most important thing, even in TV, is to be consistent. I mean, time and time again, there's a television commercial that runs, we always joke about it, and it runs in the late night, Jimmy Kimmel hours, Nightline hours, right? The cheap time on TV, it's a cheap time. It's 11 to 2. But the dude's been running the same ad since 1990. Same ad, baby. Crappy ad.
Works. Yeah.
Sells mobile homes, baby. Same ad. Hey. It doesn't matter. And you forget that it's just the consistency of he's on every single night, every single day, no matter what. And then he doesn't care if the ad looks like it's been in the 60s and it ran in the 90s. You know what I mean? It literally doesn't matter. And that ad always reminds me.
Probably worse if you updated it.
Right. It's always a reminder that it's just a matter of that he never gave up. Like, he's just always in that time slot. He spends his whatever the cheap amount of money. He doesn't stop though. Like the podcast, I always say, like anything you're doing, you just don't stop recording. You just don't don't forget the momentum's going. And what happens? What happens? It's just, you have success, like anything, like the snowball, baby, the Warren Buffett model. Now, my man, we're about to take you into your mind though, because I love this talk. I love this insight. Are you ready for our top 10? Let's go. He gave me the wink, baby. He said, we're ready. We're ready. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh, Netflix still.
Netflix. They got a lot of good content on Netflix these days. Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook. I'm old.
Facebook. and Facebook owns them all. Let's just be real. They'd own them all if we could.
Same.
Chicken or steak? Thinking about a good meal.
Steak.
Laptop or smartphone? If you had to hit the door right now, you're out the door. We got the laptop. And then Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify.
Movies or video games? Movies. Reading books or listening to books?
Oh, listening to books. Listening. Really good.
Do you do Audible or
Audible?
Let's go.
I have a subscription that's so old. It's like an old school login, and I forgot what the count was, but something like outrageous.
Oh, with like your credits? Your credits are building up.
I have like 400 books or so. I have 355 titles.
Bang, baby. The best thing too about that is that you can always just take them off your device, refresh them, and bring them right back to your right back to your mind if it sticks to your soul. I always say, and obviously the cool thing about the app too now is the discovery, the new things that are coming, based on what you just listened to. Hey, here's a new book, Paul. Here's something interesting that you may have never discovered. And I always like finding some of those ones too, because then it just opens your mind to something different you didn't think about, that you were favorite to based on the author or things like that. And you kind of let the algorithm, if you want to call it, like on YouTube, give you the next video. Let's go. Let's take me on the adventure, baby.
Spotify, right?
Right.
Discover Weekly.
Discover Weekly is legit, baby. That's one of my favorites. Discover Weekly, baby. The OG Discover. Oh man, that brings me back to the beginning when I was like, this is crazy. Discover Weekly is nuts.
How do they know?
This algorithm's crazy. Yeah. Stocks or real estate if you're thinking about diversifying the portfolio?
Oh, real estate.
Oceans or lakes if you're thinking about a vacation?
Oceans.
What ocean are you going to go on right now? If you could hop on a plane, we're out. You're on vacation mode today, buddy.
Ooh, I go see my sister in St. John. Sister-in-law in St. John.
Ooh, beautiful. My brother's flying JetBlue. They fly out to the Caribbean. He says that water is just incredible. Just flying out over the water. Amazing, baby. We don't have that beautiful blue water out here in Cali, but our water's different. It's beautiful too, but it's not exactly the same. It's a little bit more sandy, if you want to call it that. When you're waking up in your morning, Paul, you're getting ready, pumped, energized, ready for the day. Why do you love being you?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I like learning a lot. I was just at a conference this morning and watched this guy speak, and it was awesome. Like, just fantastic message and great aha moments and amazing story, and that never gets old.
Do you prefer learning stuff in the industry specifically, or other stuff?
Other stuff, yeah. Other stuff.
What's your favorite other stuff?
I think it's related, right? I think it's related, but yeah, I think the whole psychedelics are super interesting. I think that whole study is fascinating. The science behind it's fascinating.
Oh yeah.
The history about it's fascinating. So
absolutely,
I've dove fairly deep into that world recently.
So we're gonna.
It's awesome.
Was it where they take the poison off the toad, and we're gonna do a little what's it called?
Some buff.
Yeah, let's go, baby. We're ready. We're talking to the gods, baby. We're ready, baby. We're ready. Right. The universe is full of love, and that's what I think it is. We forget that quite often. We get caught up in our teams, our politics, our sides, our point of views, and we forget that it's a circle of love, and we are not going to live out beyond the time that we're given. And so we remind ourselves.
No one's getting out alive, right?
My wife tells me that all the time when I'm getting too damn serious. You're not getting out of here alive. You need to lighten up, big dog. Because it's true. I mean, it's so true. Even though we get caught up in stress and we get caught up in pressures and clients and meetings and agendas and work and blah, blah, blah. I got eBay business, 100,000 cars selling, blah, 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 whatever. The whole point in general is in your life, you get this time. You get the moment. Like the moments we have right here on the Be Real Show, you get to capture, enjoy, express. I'm always grateful too, Paul, because I just get to meet new people. I get to take a different point of view, have a quick conversation at scale. we record it and we're done, baby. You know, you don't got to fly to me. I don't got to fly to you. And then the beautiful thing is we capture a little piece of magic that gets to stay out through time beyond us. If our families keep the hosting fees going, hint, hint. You know, as long as the hosting fees are going, we're gonna be going forever. And so,
leave it in your will.
Yeah, put it in the will, baby. You know, the Be Real Show forever. Put it to my last dollar. So a couple last things for you before we roll here, my man. Do you think you'll ever retire from the game of business, entrepreneurship, and agency? No. Keep us going till the end, baby.
No,
at some point.
I don't know anyone that's like really truly checked out and just been done. They get bored. So absolutely. I feel like I've seen it enough around me to know that that's not that fantasy that most people have isn't what it's cracked up to be in reality.
And that's more
cool if you can do it, but
right. It usually seems like it's more for really like vagabond lifestyle kind of people. Well, you want to retire at 40 and just live out of suitcases and, you know, not live like the crazy lavish. You retire, but you're living out of a damn minivan or some shit. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the retirement we all want, but
cans of tuna.
But you can kind of do it. Yeah, I mean, you really can do it.
Right.
Or on the other side, you've been working your ass off for 40 years in a corporate job. You don't have the time and availability that you have like what you can and create in entrepreneurship. And then you just say, okay, I'm ready. And I get on that side. Yeah. But I think for entrepreneurship, you're absolutely right. Even some very successful entrepreneurs I've had on the show that say they cashed out paid their investors hundreds of millions of dollars, and they were sitting on a golf course, sipping martinis all day. And they just bored as shit. Like you said, after a year or two of that, back on, let's go. Let's find something else to do, you know, and even, you know, obviously taking the money that they had in that business and putting it back into the next one. And so I think it's right. It's in our soul. It's in our body type. And you can always do a little less, but I always like to remind people we're retired every day, baby. Let's say every day is Friday. Wear the Hawaiian shirt, live a little bit of your retirement today, do a little bit of the things you always dreamed of. Because
totally agree.
When you're 40, I'm 40. When you're 60, it's going to be a lot harder. When you're 80, it's going to be harder. So do it today. Do you have a routine or how you get your day going? Is there a practice to your day?
Yeah. So every morning, get up, meditate. Then it's kids. Get the kids ready. Get them out. Get them to school. Nice. And then work starts at our daily stand up at 8:45. And that's like the signifying thing through COVID that really kept us like, all right, I am quote unquote at work. The workday has started. I am quote unquote working.
Right.
Even if you don't take the gym shorts off, right? But it's like I'm working.
And so mindset.
That's probably the biggest part of the routine. And seeing people, even though it's on Zoom, but seeing people every morning and having that routine, 8:45, it's like, all right, the day has begun.
Totally. Absolutely. I mean, and the beautiful thing is it just all allows everyone flexibility. So I know a few of my buddies we had on the show too recently, dude would be like always the longest person working at his real estate firm, 13-hour days, you know, had built a lot of success for himself, always believed in that, just last person to turn off the lights and just, you know, and always put it out there. And I always loved that about him. But then he said, hey, when COVID hit, I realized I'm missing a lot of my life, you know, and I could do a lot of this stuff right here from my house, from my beautiful laptop, and everyone's happy. We're all working from home, and skip that big ass office that was costing me thousands of dollars every month that no one wanted to be at anyways. And so I agree that there's a piece to that, but then I think that there's a piece that you have to create that discipline and find that structure and balance. And it's not for everybody, but if you embrace it, whoo, it's beautiful, baby. It's beautiful. You can be on a beach, you can be anywhere, and you could be working and creating that same discipline, you know, same discipline with your smartphone devices, with these incredible tools and powers of software we have today. Nothing's stopping you. So the kids first. How many kids do you have, by the way, too?
3.
So you got your hands full, my dude. I got 2. Yep. We got the hands full, baby. We're ready. Is there a skill you're trying to master? Is there something you're trying to get better at, perfect, or just, you know, push yourself at? I'm working right now with a leadership coach still, like nice.
This many years in. So she was an HR executive that had a bunch of exits. She doesn't really exactly work. And I went to her towards the end of last year and said, I want to figure out how to be a better leader, how to better manage people. And it's a skill I need to work on and get better at. And so I'm working on my stuff still
Dude, that's
with
awesome.
that, from a business standpoint. And then
Right.
personally, I'm working hard to be a good skier. So
Skier, baby, on the slopes. Better watch him on the slopes, folks. He's in the diamond. He's on the black diamonds, baby. He's going down the hill, baby. I love that.
still working hard at that.
You got that. That's a difficult one too, man. That's a difficult one but a lot of adrenaline as well as very good workout too.
Workout, it's all technique, and I'm in an online ski group, so I take a video, I upload that, and a guy in Australia
will teach you.
Gives feedback.
Wow.
And says like, hey, I noticed this thing, I see this thing in the video, next couple laps you go out, like work on that. And so you can't see what you can't see, and this guy's literally on the other side of the world giving feedback. That's like just how crazy things have gotten. It's really cool.
The scale of our lives and the ability to be able to take that and like go out and get multiple opinions and, hey, let's put it out there and give me some ideas, man. Let's go. Yeah. Tell me how to be better. And then, like you said, across the globe, you don't got to come to me. I don't got to come to you. Let's go. Let's do it. And then in that moment, there is friendship. There's trust. There's things that are built like we live in normal life that you just can't do at scale. You can't just go hop on planes and be a dad and be an entrepreneur and then be talking to this guy in Switzerland or wherever, but he can now teach you. And then obviously that makes us better. If you're willing to take that critique, if you're willing to put yourself out there, the beautiful thing about technology is, like you said, it's everywhere. It's like, it's limitless. You could be learning from experts all over the globe. And literally be sitting around in your house. You'd be like, hey, let's go. I'm learning. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to go do that. Let's try it, and you're going to see, obviously he knows something, and if not, you just take his critique and say, I tried it. Didn't work. Let's go. Sure. Right. Like, what's the worst can happen?
If you video that, he'll give you another critique on it, and you might not do it right. So that was, I took this copywriting course years ago, and you watch a video, it's like, here's how you write a headline, right? And then you would go and you put it in this classroom, and a professional copywriter would like tear it to shreds. And so like you think that but you don't really know. Right. And same exact thing happens on skiing. Like you watch a video on a demo or on a drill, right? So it's like, all right, I watched the demo, I understand the drill, I'm out there doing the drill.
Right.
But you record it and you send it in, and it's like, you kind of don't got it yet, like here's something to work on. Hey, you probably didn't notice this, but there's this thing. And so it's always stuck to me, like you can't see what you can't see. And just watching something, thinking that you got it, does not at all mean that you got it. But we would, I can't tell you how many times I watched this copywriting thing and I'd be like, all right, hooks, I got it. I understand it. Okay, here's the deal. And then I do the homework, and they would just trash it. Like, this is terrible. Right. And it was like, okay, I could see, and I would improve, but that feeling of watching something and feeling like, oh, I got it. It just doesn't translate the same in real life as my experience, whether or not that's skiing or copywriting. And it's just been a fascinating experience for me.
And I think 99% of people are afraid to take that video. They're afraid to take the critique, take the lesson. And that's how the 91%, or we want to call it 10%, actually get better. And actually, you know, if you want to call it hold assets and hold the expertise and the wisdom, because they're constantly in that state of learning, in that state of uncomfortability, and being willing to take the critique and say,
put it out there,
stuck a little bit on this, that's all right. T-Hub, you can be a little bit better podcaster. Let's go a little bit here. I'm sure if Joe Rogan hopped on, you could tell T-Hub a few things. The point is, in general, we can all learn a little bit more, and no one's perfect. And so it's just a good point. And the ability to do that can only help you get better. It can only help you get better. And on both sides, he probably has fun doing that for you too. So it's a win-win. Awesome. It's a win-win. Is there a favorite app or tool that you enjoy using in your business?
Oh, favorite app or tool. Let me look at my phone, see if anything sticks out. I love getting rid of Slack. So instead of saying like something is awesome, I'm going to say get rid of Slack.
There we go.
Like a delete.
A delete slap option. No notification slap option.
It just takes you out of the moment. It's too hard to keep track of stuff. We got rid of Slack about a year ago, and I love it. And I know it's always based on
it seems like it's based on the person, the owner of the business, as well as also the people. Some people love it, or some people, or you're absolutely right. It's like it's just too much. people are using it for like its chat line. And at the end of the day, I love it, but I also really actually like the efficiency of emails or some other types of management tools that you basically don't have the notifications. You can check it when you want, get things done, and then you don't have to feel like it's constantly in live. One of the negatives about Messenger too is when you get customers and they want to be, then they're friends with you on Messenger, is that they can use Messenger the same way. Like, hey, you're sending me shit here now. Hey, okay. What the hell?
With this campaign.
Right.
Today.
Right. Yeah. It's very interesting. Like how Messenger is kind of the same thing as Slack in that it's kind of interruptive and it's kind of not on my time is the point. And also obviously we can change the notifications on our phone, et cetera. We know that, but the beautiful thing about Slack is when you need it, it's there for you too. And that light, obviously the urgency of it.
So people pick up the phone.
That's what I was saying. Text me. If it's that urgent, text me, call me, leave me a voicemail, tell me, hey, T-Huff, this ad, needs to be deleted, edited, blah, blah, blah.
Call me back.
yeah, absolutely. But the worst thing I hate is when someone sends me 15 emails, though. I'm like, dude, if I didn't answer your first one, I'm good about getting back to you. But like, if I didn't get you on the first one, what the F is 7 fucking emails later? And do I want to cancel your ass as a customer or what? Because it's like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, I'm with my family or whatever, or, et cetera. Because most of the time, if you get back to someone sends an email, hey, there's a proper time to get back to that. There's a little bit of time. But it's like the same thing again. Did you get this? Are you here? Dude, yes, I have a family. I have a life. I don't need to just be sitting on this damn email. And I don't bill you for these emails. It's just funny. It's just so funny. In general, it's a funny thing about our world. We're laughing about that, folks, because we know this the little intricacies of our business. Couple more last questions for you, my man, before we roll. Is if you could sit down and have a steak dinner with anyone in the world, who would you love to sit down with today?
Oh man, that's a good one. Still alive?
Doesn't matter. We've had all guests, actually. All guests. Family, friends, wives, really dead, alive. Elon Musk is one of the top ones, obviously, because very interesting gentleman.
Yeah, I think that's the easy answer.
That's an easy one. Yeah, he's a quite fascinating, easy.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to, right?
Dude.
Man, that's a really interesting question.
I always think Jeff Bezos would be interesting, too, because he doesn't do a lot of interviews, too,
Sure.
He's built something like where it's like the ultimate kind of business that you're into as well, but I'm also into as well because it's like that. He started with books, baby, and now he's doing everything. He's like, but I mean, talk about a leader, talk about someone that has built that, but then also protects a lot of things with his time too. He like spends a lot of time with his family in the mornings, for someone
takes crazy care of himself.
Yeah, and obviously protects his interview time too and stuff like that you don't get a lot of interviews from him, unlike a lot of obviously CEOs and stuff. And I think it'd just be kind of fascinating to kind of continue to learn more about him, because I think there's got to be more information in there that we can all learn from. How the hell do you just build this thing and spray paint an Amazon sign on a damn wall? And we've all seen the photo. Spray paint the damn it's a bootstrapping model like a T-Hub loves, and then just throw that shit up on the wall and hey, we're gonna sell books. I'm gonna bring them to you. I'm gonna drive them to you or whatever. And then next thing you know, you're Amazon. My wife orders freaking 3 packages a day from Amazon. I mean, I wanted a costume.
Amazing.
I want my daughter loves dress up costumes. All of a sudden, she hit the 3 mark. We bought her some princess dresses.
Oh, cool. Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen. Yeah, the Frozen and the Moana dresses and all that kind of fun stuff. And you finally started wanting to do that. So I popped up one. I was like, I'll go see what kind of stuff they have. I got them that same day. I mean, just think about it. You pop up, you order a couple things cheaper than anywhere you can buy.
Yeah.
Cheaper than anywhere. Yeah. Cheaper than if I went to damn Target or Walmart. Obviously your gas costs, your time, your convenience, etc. And then it comes to you that day. I mean, that is freaking insane when you really think about that infrastructure. When go back, take him to that day when he was, put that spray paint sign up. Did you think that you were going to be able to deliver Disney costumes to people in an hour, in like a few hours from when they ordered it? I mean, that's the interesting part of obviously a fascinating mind of a business owner. I mean, obviously a fascinating mind of a leader too. I mean, how you got the right people on board. You got the, you it wasn't all
Teams,
just you.
Team timing, a little bit of luck, a little bit of everything, right? I mean, I would like to, if I were to hang out with him, I'd like to hear like, okay, so what's the crappy part, right? Or what sucks, or what's the reality? So like I've been in entrepreneur organization for about 10 years now. And I've just realized like no one has it figured out. No one's got the perfect idea. Everyone's struggling with something. Everyone's worried about something. Something's changing, shifting. And so I think it's cool to like admire Elon and these guys, but I'd like to hear the true story. Like, okay, so like what's the real deal here? I think that would be interesting.
Getting your shit hacked. That would be what they're constantly probably worried about. Didn't Saudi Prince guy
through WhatsApp, right? I mean, that's what you got to worry about, right? Like
shit like that. And there's some new stuff out there. They don't even have to get anything. You don't have to, they don't. Some of the new hack stuff is they just get your shit. Like they don't need anything. They just take.
You don't have to click on. Wow.
No clicks. Yeah, the no click shit. And that's scarier because before you could just like, don't click that, don't, put that shit to spam. This looks weird. They're going to give me $1 million, or even now more legitly, they'll send you you need to change your Facebook settings, or, they'll send you stuff that looks pretty damn, legit.
Right.
But then if you look up in the email, it's some weird, fb.com/ blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of sniff these things out. Some of this new stuff is scarier because it's like no click. It's no click. Yeah. Wow. Very crazy. Wow. So that's why two factors very important across the board. Instagram found this out because people were basically got hacked on Instagram, and then their accounts they would send just like an image, and then all of a sudden that person's accounts got, something interesting with two factor, and how they were able to do this is this new technology that they're figuring out. But two factor on everything if you can, folks, because it's like I said, you don't have to click anything anymore. It's very interesting. But the people on that level, can you imagine the people that are trying to get into your shit to figure out what's going on? I mean, if you're Elon or if you're some of that,
getting your stuff, insider secrets, government's trying to hack you,
everybody, dude, everybody.
Wackos.
Right. Like, and there's people that are out there that can legitimately do it too. So, that's the crazy thing. And they're probably attempting it like constantly. So, I would feel like that's probably like your data and like your normal things, like taking a shit and things like that, just don't get to do in public because, hey, Elon Musk can't just go take a shit anywhere. Like blah, blah, blah.
There might be a microphone. Someone might be watching.
What are you doing in there? That's the kind of celebrity, thing that celebrities always kind of get caught up in, is that you just don't get that normal life, that you get to go take your kids to the park and there's not a million people trying to get, and then obviously the business side, trying to get a hold of your money, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there's a lot, but the interesting thing about life is we all are humans. They all are going to wipe their butts today. We're all going to flush the toilet, hopefully. And, most importantly is that, we all are kind of breathing the same air, living the same life in this same time era. And the beautiful thing is that we get to capture it and we kind of get to bottle it. That's what I always love about the podcast interview format, in that it's a moment in time, bottle it, and then we're moving, baby. Constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly growing. Is there a book in your life, in your library of Audible, that you either reread or kind of just sticks to your soul? You just feel like, I love this one. It's hard to choose.
4,000 weeks.
4,000 weeks. Talk about that one. I've heard about that one a few times, but I have not read that one. 4,000 weeks.
4,000 weeks. Oliver Berkman's the author. I would say a couple of gists to it are, we can't have it all. You can have a couple things. This idea that like more is better, and more, like it's pretty corrosive. The better you are at email, right? The more you reply to clients, the productivity hack is like clear the inbox, right? Work through it. But the more you email people, the more they're going to email you back, and the more it's going to clutter the inbox further. Yep. And so it's a really interesting, there's a lot of interesting ideas in the book, but it's like, you're only going to get a couple things, so really focus the time and energy on that. This idea that like, we have to make a dent in the universe, or we have to change the world with our business. His take is like, no one really takes a dent in the universe. Like even the iPhone in 200 years, like no one's going to give a shit. Yeah. So don't worry as much about this concept or idea of like, I got to make a dent or change the world. So yeah, I love the book. Since I'm an entrepreneur, I've got a couple of like fitness consultants that always message me on Facebook, like, I'm a fitness consultant for entrepreneurs, right? And this one guy's been messaging me for a while. He's a really nice guy, really interesting stuff. And he's like messaged me this morning and said, "You ready to like take it to the next level this summer?" And I thought about it. I'm like, I already got a personal trainer, also online. And I went to that trainer and I said, I want to get through ski season. I want to be strong and I don't want to get hurt.
Nice.
And so like I did that, right? And it's like, what's more, right? Like, and why do I need more? And why do I have
5%
to
more
have
ripped
more?
or something. Right. Some little
exactly.
edge. Never have a carb again. Never eat a pizza. Don't touch ice cream.
Would you like to optimize the exact time you eat the half slice of pizza that's most efficient? It's like, I don't need more, man. And so Oliver Berkman kind of hints at this idea of like, but it's interesting that that's the default too, right? Want to take it to the next level? Do you want your business to be better? Do you want to be in better shape? Do you want to have better sex? Do you want to have,
Right.
It's like,
it's never enough. Yeah. Like it's
never enough.
And if you walk into like a cosmetic beautician, they're going to tell you everything that's fucked up with your face. The second they start working on your nose, they're going to start working on your boobs. The second they're working on your boobs, hey, your ass looks a little bit smaller. We need to take some shit out of your ass and put it in your nose and put it in your ass and then stick it back in your nose again and then stick it back up your ass again. No, it's just it's like it's constantly, it's something that like it's exists, but then I think that's the part where being a salesperson or being a strong soul confident, you have to like know what's right for you. You have to like, okay, like this feels right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this person does make sense. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give him a shot. All right, cool. Like I appreciate the outreach. Let's try it. But if it's like, it just like sometimes half the time it's like the first time they ever talk to you, they're telling you everything and rolling out everything to you, whether that's on LinkedIn or a DM on Instagram or wherever. And it's like, dude, get a chance to know me first, because there's like already people that like I already know that I could give my business to that I haven't. And there's probably, they're probably first in line, and so like earn your spot in line, like, and that's just like anything, even my podcast, people constantly are like, hey, I want to be on the show. Like, I want to be on the show. Hey, you know what? I want you to be on the show too. We're booking in September right now. If you can't wait till September, I hope if you want to come on faster, we have a few like little packages you can get on faster. You don't want to do that? I don't know what to say. Like, this is my time. This is my life. Like you said, I built this shit. You did it. And you want to come on here and just leverage my shit to hop on and pop up your book? Do you want to sell tomorrow? Hey, I got to sell a book tomorrow. Can I be on your show and publish it tomorrow? Yeah, here's a $500 million. You have $500 million? Okay. You don't? Okay, great. Have a great day. I don't know what else to say. And that's just the thing about this life is that, like you said, you can't say yes to everything. You can't do everything. And
more doesn't have to be.
Yeah, like the thing about the show is like, I would love to say yes to everybody and I would love to book my damn time to the moon, but I got kids I got to watch. I got a life, entrepreneurship, business. And I do the show out of a passion. And because I feel like it's a little piece of good to the world, not that I'm really trying to change the world, but that I hope that someone gets anything from it. And that it's fun. It's a fun way for me to learn, build, and let's just be transparent. Have some friendship at scale, meet new people at scale that I would never bump into, and learn quite a bit. I always take notes, learn from my guests along the journey, my dude. So I just appreciate you. I appreciate your soul, your energy, your passion. You're a great dad. I know that's not easy. I know being an entrepreneur is not easy. But I always wish a ton of abundance on my guests. I always wish and remind our guests that, dude, the world is full of abundance and everything we want and wish is out there. We're already, a lot of us are very blessed. And so coming from a state of gratitude and being thankful for our family and our time and our businesses and some of the accolades we've received and be able to do podcasts and just be able to do these things.
Just having the time to do it, right?
Yeah. Having the time and then also be able to have the willingness to be able to do these things, because like I said, there's only 10% of us that are willing to put ourselves out there and get critiqued on the sea slope or, or be on a podcast or things like that. And so that's the other interesting thing about my show is that you're always just bumping into people that are really at the top of their game, because not everyone else is not taking those shots. They're not running businesses and they're just not doing it. And so it's fun for me. It's so much fun. I have so much gratitude. Can I also drive our listeners for you, my dude, to the business? Because I love you guys' website. Sure. I love your mentality of being a partner, not just an agency. We kind of talked about some of those things, but let's give a plug to the website so we can put it in the show notes.
Sure. It's clicksandclients.com.
Clicksandclients.com, folks. Put it in the show notes. Just quickly find that. And I always like this real quick on his website. It says, you need a partner, not an agency. Focused on innovation and comprehensive service, obviously getting the full spectrum of digital marketing, but then bottom line, getting those results. And folks, Mr. Paul Rakovich has been doing it for a long time, my dude. And I just want to thank you again for your time and energy. Folks, you've been hanging out with a legend in the game of life, in business, and in digital marketing, baby. Mr. Paul Rakovich and Travis Too Tall and Huff, we want to thank you again for your time today. And let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. Do you want to get featured on podcasts, guys? You can be a guest. And that's right. You have a story, and the people, the good folks at I Love Podcasts. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Do that every single day. This is a new company, guys, in the space of podcast agency. And they realize a lot of the people in the space it's just a commodity, and they don't care. And these folks care. And I literally love Kenny and the team at I Love Podcasts, and they are doing it right for their customers. So you guys can be a guest on a show. ilovepodcast.com. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Let's go.